do the boy a solid, and then,
okay.
yeah. So whenever I know what you got.
No, we're gonna do it live till he gets back.
Yeah, you can do it live. There goes APLD. I mean, we're continuing to climb higher. Now we're up 3% on the day. APLD, the only loss is going to be on Netflix. We're not even going to look at that one because it's so minuscule. But here is APLD climbing a little bit to the north side, $38. Let's see if we can hit that dollar club in applied digital, guys. So a nice little move right there. Here's our boy. I know you got what you got going on. I'm going to ramble on for a couple more minutes. He did me a big time solid. Grab the jerk lunch. For the kids, so we'll see what we got going. Are you coming over here, or I gotta go over? You're gonna make the GIMP go over there. All right.
Go over. I'll shut it down over here because it's gonna take you 10 minutes to go over there.
It's gonna take me a little while.
Nah, I'm playing.
So there
you guys
is
can all
38.
watch Joey Waddles.
That's the thing, man. Yeah, Waddles. Everything takes 10 times as long. That's the only frustrating thing, man. No, don't apologize. I mentioned that it's like, okay, the knee is gone, but essentially I lose 2 other limbs because I have to occupy the old arm.
Quick question, by the way. How's it feeling, like in terms of recovery right now? Like, what's the ETA, the timeline, and the whole
So
thing?
by, I think 3 to 6 weeks is I should be unassisted with crutches, but still full brace.
Not bad.
Yeah.
3 to 6 weeks?
Yeah. So another like a week and a half or so, I should be able to walk. Hopefully, I think that's an optimistic timeline. But other than that, like couple of days, pain was gone. Sleeping absolutely horrid because I'm a mover when I sleep. Yeah, I'm a mover when I sleep. The leg has to be straight. Other than that, it's just weakness. Obviously, the atrophy within the muscles kicking in and stuff like that.
That's all going to make it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Just want to heal up properly.
I mean, it's a 9-month process, right? So it's a 9-month process. We're only a couple weeks in, so we're going to go over it.
All right, make your way on over there. Let me shut it down. All right, guys, continuing to watch BNAI over here. Here's what I'm seeing. It's very interesting price action. There's a 50 seller, and there has been for a while. I want to say since 140, so 20 minutes now, going more than 20 minutes. That 50 seller has been staunchy, but I think it just may be a matter of time until that 50 seller gets taken out. And the reason I feel that way is because we've got, oops, that's the wrong one. Pardon me. Wrong one again. Because we've got these higher lows. It's generally holding up at the 10 EMA, and you're getting these general higher lows accumulating possibly for a $50 break. It looks like the money fills are in the low 47, high 46s. If you can pick it up there by using a resting order for a dip trade, I think you could be on the receiving end of a $50 break. Now, technically, the high of the day is 55.16, but take a look at what we did a lot earlier. This is 4 a.m. By the way, on volume, this had 123,000 shares. We got to 81.77. And then 725, we also did it live into $70.90. So yeah, we'll have to obviously clear that 55.16 area high, which is the official high of the day. But that doesn't mean that these pre-market levels are not important because they were all printed on volume. Now, they're not nearly as much volume as we have here, but definitely something to be on the lookout for there. Separately, KITT. This is not a good volume play, but a fantastic chart pattern. And it gave you very little in the way of bamboozlement. Shout out to Bovin, who mentioned this one to me earlier. There we go. Just printed the high of the day into 134. It's up 44.5%, and it flat top broke through that 130. So look for, this 10 EMA on the 5 at $1.25, $1.26 to hold up. But we'll keep tabs on that. SLGB, it doesn't feel like this one is, going to break out in the same way that it did at 955. But look at this. Unbroken is this upper trend line here of higher lows. I mean, it's a clean hold off that. So maybe 250, 240s is a buy zone. Now, mind you, you did topping till into 290, so you couldn't quite make it up into 3. So by definition, that gives us yet another lower high on this one. So keep tabs on SLGB. GameStop as well. GameStop should be in focus after Michael Burry tweeted about this one, or I think he put it on his Substack, not tweet. I have no idea. It doesn't matter. But anyway, we had a good couple of trades on GME, but down into the volume weighted average price it goes. It looks like it's trying to recover off that level here. So that's what we'll keep an eye out for there. But as Obi gets ready to sit down at the big desk, I'm going to send you over to a very special afternoon show. You got the Obi, he is the one Kenobi, and your boy Joey Waddles. We'll see you doing them live. Take care, guys.
What's going on, guys? How's it going? Joey Waddles, come on, you can't do him like that. Don't do him like that. Come on, bro. Catching strays, left, right, and center. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's all right though. We're not worried about that whatsoever. We got
You're muted. You're muted, by the way. Yeah. On the top.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. No worries.
we're live. We're live. We might need one. That's what we'll let Assassino deal with that one there, man. We're doing it super live now.
Ain't no mercy in this dojo, saying Michael P. DeRuyter. Yeah, no, for sure.
Ain't no mercy
definitely. Hey, man. If there's anybody who can take a hit, that's our boy Joey right now.
Appreciate that.
For sure, man. How's everyone doing? Hopefully your morning and midday session was solid. This market is staying solid, man. Still consolidating at its highs. It's super strong on the day and still holding up. And some craziness from this morning as well, holding up the market. You saw that Microsoft as well. Microsoft catching a bit of a bid, maybe the bid coming in a lot before the actual news. But we got that news saying that they might have a chip that could contest or potentially contest Nvidia's AI chips. They're kind of releasing that dependence on Nvidia. So we talked about this, Sharif and I talked about this last week, saying that Nvidia is definitely top dog, unless and until somebody steps into the ring and says, hey, no, I can probably do this too, or maybe even better, and a competitor has arose and accepted potentially that challenge there. So Softy coming out with a potential chip. And we saw Nvidia react to that as well. Strong flush. That was this candle right here. And I was just like, oh, damn, that's coming in. I looked around. Nothing else was really moving as aggressively as Nvidia, and the volume as well, speaking for itself. So I was like, yeah, definitely Nvidia with that news. Since then, or even in the morning, Nvidia has been very VWAP heavy. You can see every time it gets up here, distinctly different from the rest of the market here. So as we settle in, I want to ask you guys, what have you guys been trading? You guys know that I only had one trade this morning, Joe.
Yeah.
And I was looking, the idea was to take this reversion and take some inventory into 100. Kind of lost my patience, I would say. I was just like, this is taking way too long. I'm like, I know it's going to come. VWAP's below that 104 breakout level. And I covered here at 101.80s eventually while I was eating my lunch. We saw that come in. I wasn't necessarily at this desk, so I couldn't really take the trade. But 101s, this consolidation, this multi-hour consolidation, 11 to 12:45-ish, so like about an hour and 45 minutes, just consolidated sideways, making lower highs there, a bit of a bouncy ball, and then boom, slaps right through that range low. We get that 100, but we only got past 100 by less than $1.50. We dropped down into 99 halves, maybe some 30s there on the low print, and then bouncing right back up into 101. So what a beautiful, beautiful reversion this was. And you can see this had pretty good news, pretty solid news this morning with the Nvidia investment. But you know, it's not really holding its own. It's not really bidding as aggressively as it was. Those buyers were definitely gone. And what was interesting to me, Joe, was that in the pre-market, I did get involved in the pre-market. Let's go back to this chart. I did get involved in the pre-market. I liked the long off of the idea. I'm like, okay, fine. I want to join some buyers. Joined some buyers at 202 halves. We got to 102 halves. Got to 103s. And some change, but seller stepped right back in. I'm like, okay, fine, that's okay. Got flipped short on the 101s, but there was an interesting action that happened in and around here. 101 halves, there's 50,000 on the bid, gets taken out, right? So seller dominance, I'm like, okay, someone sold to that. Again, doesn't really get too far below that 100 or below that VWAP and holds that 100 mark. And again, 100 halves, another 20 to 30,000 shares live, showing itself on the book, gets taken out. And I'm like, okay, well, we're on for the short. Guess what? No, that buyer, if that was an actual buyer that was trying to go long in the pre-market, wow, off of the open, definitely got rewarded as we went all the way from 100 bounce to 108s. But for me, I was just slightly skeptical after missing the 104 push and sized in decently on the right side of the move, kept it light on the left side. But yeah, that was probably one of my better trades, and I know you were involved in that silver move this morning, and
all
that
day, man.
Still going, man.
Yeah, I would love to show you guys, Obi, but I'm going to need you to show me how to open up the P Pro on this one here.
What, it's not working?
No, it's not. See, look, it's not displaying itself here.
Okay, that's you know what? I'm going to send you a link. I think you have to install the new version. I'll send you.
When did we get the new version?
Just
How come
Yeah, just last week.
How come it worked on that one? Oh, we got to install.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I installed the new version on your
on
PC
mine. Oh, is that why?
Last week. Yeah. So I think that might be the issue. And I was having the issue back in the back room as well this morning, where it wasn't even opening up. So I think they've just. So I'll send you that link in a real quick second.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But yeah, other than that, Obi, I mean, we're in some APLD right now. We got a nice little move. We're still at 20 cents ITM, but it climbed up to 38.81. You guys seen that one? We'll get it up here momentarily. Once I do that download, then we're really ready to rock and roll. Whenever I don't think Sharif's ready just yet, but almost, man. He's gonna give us the nod. We're gonna get the afternoon rundown. We're gonna run through these tickers and see what we got going on for you guys. But other than that, man, what a time to come back. Essentially, we're here again. If you guys missed me, you're not gonna miss me so much by 4 o'clock. No, I'm obviously joking. We're going to have a lot of fun, Obi and I, as we typically do, Sim, Sharif, and everyone. So that's the thing about having fun here. It's just consistent and never essentially stops. Oh, would you send it to me?
We're on Discord.
Okay. Brother, you think I got Discord on here?
No, you can log in on. I'll show you in a second. We're going to be right back from Sharif. Let's start the rundown, guys.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. Very special afternoon show for you. We got Obi, we got Joe, the big boys. They are locked and they are loaded, and they're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers on the Afternoon Rundown, you got to get in the chat and you got to vote every day. But make sure to throw in that sign before you vote. Choose whatever ticker your heart so desires. Let's first start, though, Assassino, by looking at all 4 major averages being led here by the NQ. The triple Q's up 0.7. The SPY barely below it, up 0.68. Likewise with the Dow, up 0.61. So good strength on all 3 major averages, but there is one that is in negative territory, the IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF, down 0.5%. Not too bad. It's been very strong as of late. Bad week, though, last week, by the way, for the IWM. Here is the first ticker as decided by you guys. We saw Joey involved with this one all day on the midday. SLV up 7 3/4, taking out that $100 easily with a 106.70 high. And it's continuing to run into 52-week highs as the rally is fueled by a lot of the threats of tariffs now by President Trump, as well as geopolitical tensions, guys, with a looming U.S. government shutdown now with a 77% probability on the 31st. We'll have to see how that all works out. But guys, silver trying to hold $100.
Wow, yeah, coming right back. All right, guys, let me ask you this. If someone handed you $1.25 million to trade, would your process change? Or just your upside? That's the opportunity Funded Futures Network provides. They're a futures prop firm that gives traders access to large SIM and live funded accounts every day. They've already paid millions to traders around the world with fast same-day and daily payouts. And now, evaluation accounts are 50% off, buy one, get one free, and no activation fees. You can find the link below or scan the QR code to check it out. Wow, man, I did not have eyes on silver, and I'm here sitting being like, okay, I'm waiting for the backside, I'm looking for the short. But guess what? We're below VWAP now, so any and everybody who was trying to get long over the weekend, looking at SLV, looking at that 100 push, maybe in a little bit of trouble as, yeah, we're coming right back into 100. We see that 100 break candle with some of the most volume on the day. Let's go down to the 1 minute. It's probably in and around there on the 100 break, right there. So that's where that volume starts to really tower in through the 100 break. But yeah, back below VWAP, 106.70s here on silver. Let's take a quick look on a higher time frame. We were talking about whether it holds trend or not. Let's go to, I think it was on the daily. We were looking at this one. The moving average way extended from it. Take a look at that beautiful top wick on the day. Joe, I know you like hammer candles, and that's definitely getting hammered right back in. So this will be one of the first days it's taken such an aggressive pullback. We only have about an hour 45 minutes left in the trading day for us to see how this candle closes. You can see expanding volume as well, one of the highest volume bars as well on the daily I'm seeing here. So Joe, I'm asking myself, is this the capitulation? We can see here already pulling back into the opening range lows, opening prices, and maybe potentially poised for a direct push of that pre-market low here at 98.10s on silver. So I know you were involved with this one in the morning session.
Yes, sir.
What do you got to say? I know. Where did you get out of your position already? Where?
So listen to this story. We'll run through it quick. So I was in the trend all day. Obi, I went to mock my last 5%. I hit the wrong key and it flattens me out right at 1 o'clock, the peak of silver. And then sure enough, it decided to tank. Wow. But aside from my story in which what happened today, silver was very interesting because something that we started to see on the options chain was an immense increase in implied volatility. So yesterday we closed around 80%, but we've seen that climb up to a high of around 177% today. So that would, you don't typically see that in uptrends, right? Like, because there's not that much fear stepping into the underlying assets. But one thing that I wanted to compare this to, and I mentioned it before, was AMD. Remember back in 2024 when AMD peaked around $227, it had that final push higher and then eventually went in a multi-year downtrend. I'm not necessarily saying that's going to be the case here with silver, but it's giving me those vibes. The volume is increased and the implied volatility has drastically increased as well too. And in something that we typically seen, buyers step back in at some point throughout the intraday session. We have yet to see that here in the latter half of the day in SLV. So be cautious on what's going on. We're now trading south of that $100 mark, 99.35 on SLV. There's a massive gap that has to be filled on the SLV. Obviously, spots be a little bit different, but keep an eye on this ETF, guys.
Guys, let's look at TSLA, the worst performing Mag 7 name on the day. They are reporting Wednesday, 28th, after the bell. Make sure to catch that with us. And here's what we're expecting for their earnings. We're expecting revenue to come in at $24.8 billion on EPS of 45 pennies, and gross margins for their automotive division expected to come in at 14.8%. We already got their deliveries, which were below estimates, 418,000 and change, below the 423,000 that we were expecting. Separately, Tesla manufacturing director Benjamin Bate departs. This is being reported by Electric. He's Tesla's director of vehicle operations and engineering at the Fairmont facility. He left after more than 8 years to become a plant manager at a different company, according to his LinkedIn profile. So Tesla down 2 1/3.
All right, so Tesla, I did get involved a little bit in that silver as it is, headed straight to the downside. But Tesla, man, Tesla was distinctly different than the rest of its friends, the Mag 7, today, as it sold off pretty aggressively off of the open and then sustained below VWAP while the names like Google and Apple were running. We can see here that, Google and Apple, one of the strongest ones, softy as well. Amazon didn't really do too much, a sideways range, but Tesla was the one, man. Strong sellers breaking below some of prior week's levels and kind of reverting this crazy rip up that we had on the Austin news, right? This came in on Thursday, and then we were just like, okay, well, what's going on with Tesla? And then unmanned, unsupervised self-driving vehicles in Austin, Texas, and that's what caused this kind of run up here, the bid. But we're coming right back into some of those reference levels on the day today and consolidating sideways. So yeah, maybe a little bit of digestion, but all I'm seeing, Joe, is lower lows and lower highs here since we attempted to push that 500 mark. Yeah. So I do think something to watch out for. Let's get that VWAP out of the way so we can see it much nicer here, but higher time frame going up to the weekly. You can see here that we are well within trend still. This can come all the way down into 380s or even into a push of like 375s and still have technically higher highs and higher lows on the much higher time frame. So
yeah, absolutely. So we'll keep Obi's chart up there because we're just doing a quick restart as we get the new platform installed over here. But as for Tesla, guys, I don't think this is anything different than what we've seen from before. We run into that $500 mark. That's going to be a key level. And even if you look at your options chain, you're going to see somewhat of a supply zone there. I don't even have to take a look. But in order for us to break through, we're going to need to see that absorbed. I think this is just day-to-day volatility in Tesla. It's only a matter of time. I think 2026 is going to be a massive year. Why? Because not only is the geofence starting to increase in Austin, he's going to start to get involved in more and more cities, and we're slowly starting to see that as he heads into California as well too. So I think Dan Ives, obviously a favorite of one of the analysts, our favorite of the show. He said 11 cities. That's what we want to see in 2026, as him being 11 major cities with full autonomy and full robo-taxi. And I think that's when we're really going to start to see Tesla's true potential. And if it's north of that, I think it's going to be fantastic because, as I mentioned, the geogrid is starting to expand in Austin. You don't have that the person beside you in these autonomous vehicles anymore in Austin. And once that expands into Las Vegas, you head into Arizona and those other warm climates, even Miami and Florida, I think Tesla is going to start to skyrocket and continue its climb higher because we know from a production standpoint, he has the ability to outpace Waymo, Google's Waymo, that is, guys.
All right, guys, just keeping an eye here on some headlines. Yeah, sorry, there's just Apple story here with Anthropic. We'll get to that one in a second. But CoreWeave is the one that's next on the list, up 8.5%. Multiple different headlines. The main one, though, Nvidia. The monster investing $2 billion into CoreWeave in addition to the money they had already invested for 5-gigawatt AI factory expected to be built by the end of the decade. They say basically that they are very, very behind in the compute, and they don't have enough compute to meet the needs. Secondly, D.A. Davidson upgrading CoreWeave to a buy from neutral, the price target moving up from 68 to 110. Also, Needham reiterating hold on CoreWeave, but no price target there. And then separately, Mizuho raising the price target from 92 to 100. Did he upgrade it there? No, they kept the neutral rating on the shares after the company announced the Nvidia expansion with their plans to build out that 5-gigawatt facility, guys. So CoreWeave off the high of the day, but still up 8.5.
Silver is absolutely tanking here, man. I'm just watching it. I got involved there. It's doing like 50 to 60 penny swipes here as we trade below that 100 mark. So crazy reversion happening here on silver. And a lot of people saying this might be it. But CoreWeave coming in. Let's focus on the rundown here. CoreWeave coming in with that pretty decent news, but no real follow through after the bid on the open. So maybe this just needs some more time to digest. I did really like the long in the pre-market session as well as off of the open, and this was absolutely aggressive right off of the open. So just a simple opening drive, pre-market high break, 104s, and I think I remember hitting those 104s, and I checked what my cross was here, Joe, 5 pennies. No way I'm getting it with a 5 penny cross on that 104 push, even though I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure my history says that I tried to hit it at 103.80s because I saw the action coming in. I'm like, I want to be a part of taking out this 104, but even then, I blinked and I saw 104 halves on the ask. So no way I'm getting that fill with a 5 penny cross. But that aggression did not last very long. As we go down here to the 1 minute chart, you can see we start chopping this range through that 104. It's sellers really kind of, sellers meeting buyers, strong consolidation, it's very wicky. We were wiping about $1 to $2 each way within this consolidation, 105s up into 106s and then back down to 103s and some change. But eventually we did break out of this opening range high. 106s was the next trade. I think it was pretty solid as well. That goes up to 108.65s, and then it's just no more buying. The buying dissipates. The sellers start to step in. It starts to step down, step down, step down. And then we reverted all the way back through 100. So I just showed this chart here of my trades. I did get involved a little bit too early, but I understood where I was. I was like, I know I sometimes do this when I miss the long. And then I'm like, well, the only next trade can be the short. Done that way too many times. But this time I'm just like, okay, I got to size accordingly. Let's be very light and give it some room. Let's see if it can actually get to 110s, and then as the right size does start to come in, I get in a little bit more here at the 108s, 106s. Below VWAP was nice, but gotta stick with shorting these pops here with the last entry into this pop at 103s. But eventually, I'm just like, all right, well, this is sideways consolidation. I have no idea what this is going to do. I'm looking for 100s, but once VWAP got below this 104, which was a little later, we got that flush down, and again, 104 being a bit of an important area from the pre-market session and the intraday session here as well. I talked about this was over 45 minutes to an was it over? Yeah, about over 45 minutes of a consolidation on top of that 104. And look at what happens when that consolidation finally does break down. We go straight to 102s, 101s, and some change, and then start to step down as well. So great opportunity if you could pyramid into this and push it into, or sorry, take it into 100, and I think that was probably one of the better trades for sure this morning.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I like that short a lot that you had there, OB. It was a really, really nice move and way to hold through it as well, because there's a lengthy consolidation on CoreWeave. Aside from that, yeah, and then holding it through this break and getting a little bit of that secondary leg down, I think that was a solid one. Aside from that, I really like their business models. And if we talk about IPOs and names holding up relatively well, I think CoreWeave has to fall into that category. I mean, we do open up around $38. You have to take that into consideration. And then we climb to a high of around 187. So you are starting to see you have seen somewhat of a haircut here, considering we are starting to form those continuous those lower highs. If we break through that zone and continue to climb, and I know a lot of people are worried about the circular revenue between whether it be CoreWeave, NVDA, some of the chip names, and just the cloud, and just everyone kind of just being in bed with each other at the same time. I like what CoreWeave's got going on, renting out the cloud space. I think it's going to continue to perform relatively decent, considering if we go back to that IPO date, you still have 141% return in CoreWeave. We'll climb up to where it was previous pivot high, 361%, but that was in the span of a couple of months. We have that gap up. OB filled out on the short. It worked good for him, and it might continue to do so, fill that gap. But one thing to note, once this downtrend is snapped and you have the ability to sit on top of 115, CoreWeave might start to go and test this previous pivot high. And I mean, it is literally a double away from here, so 90%, but I wouldn't put it past it. I think that this bull market has a couple more years to run, considering all the CapEx and CapEx heavy. I think an individual and a player like CoreWeave will be able to perform as well, too.
Intel next on the list here, another really tough day for the chip maker, down 5 2/3. They announced a mixed shelf offering. So under this shelf offering, it's a resale registration update, not a new share offering. So it allows existing shareholders, including the U.S. government, to sell previously issued securities in the future. There are no new shares being issued and no new cash is being raised by Intel, but it does introduce potential stock overhang if those holders choose to sell. So keep that in mind. Separately, Morgan Stanley boosting the price target on Intel today from 38 to 41. They do maintain that equal weight rating. The company reported, as we know, last week. The analysts here are saying, look, the outlook reflects meaningful supply constraints, which is problematic. As he tells investors, the firm says supply constraints will not make Intel's customers feel better about the ability to consistently serve them in the foundry. Intel down 5 2/3.
This is a bit of a continuation from last week. We saw it push all the way up into 55s and do some decent volume as well. But on earnings, kind of broke the bid, broke the trend there as well. You can see how we were looking on the daily chart right here, going into earnings. And wow, what a trend break there. The reversion's definitely coming in. We've reverted about 50%, maybe even more, of this leg that we were having this bid from December 24th all the way into earnings was about 56%, man. 56 within 30 days on Intel. And of course, bigger picture, we've been gapping up and breaking out of this multi-year range here, or multi-month. It was roughly almost 2 years, I'd say. But from July of 2024 all the way to September of 25, breaking out of that range and then pushing a little bit higher, stair-stepping up. But last week, we saw that push into 50s. That was quite nice. And it knocked on the door of 50 about 3 days in a row here, Joe, and we got supply every single time. When it finally did break out, this was a great trade as well, but that didn't last very long as earnings comes in and we get slapped right back below 50s, and we're seeing that continuation. Earnings day one was on Friday. Pretty much all day selling, closing near the day's lows. Today, once again, all day selling so far. Let's see if we close in and around here near the lows once again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Intel, I think this is what you expect to see, right? When you have Trump and company starting to, well, the administration, the government taking a 10% stake, he's already seen billions of dollars in returns. Well, that started to get swiped away now, Sharif, in the past couple of days. Considering Obi was talking about this, you're down 22%, so you can wipe that off of the books relatively quick. But I think that this name's going to continue to climb a little bit higher. We had the upgrades. Sharif brought us that earlier, at the Annis actions, I should say, and then also from before, price target around $60. We got pretty close to that, $54 and change, like $54.29, and then you get somewhat of a pullback. I didn't expect us to go parabolic, considering there's still some worries about this, but at the end of the day, Intel, I think they need to build their customer base, and then sure enough, they could be off to the races. But that's not the case right now. So I'm going to be cautious about what we got going on with Intel.
All right, guys, millions of concussions, 0 approved therapies. Orogenics, that's OGEN on the NYSE, is advancing a new standard with its intranasal, brain-first approach to concussion treatment. With an $8.9 billion market on the horizon, Orogenics is positioned to drive what comes next. See what's ahead and book a meeting today.
Lines regarding Canada and the United States trade negotiations. The trade minister of Canada, Dominic LeBlanc, had a productive discussion with Trade Representative Jameson Greer. He's going to meet him in Washington in the next few weeks, according to the report, in that he stated explicitly that Canada is not seeking a free trade deal with China. Last on the list here, BNAI, one that I was involved with during the midday, but look at this explosive breakout right at 4 o'clock on Friday. This, from the closing print at 4 o'clock to the high in the aftermarket, was up 316% today, trying to hold some of those gains, but the move is due to a Valio Technologies partnership. The deal is going to provide about $2 million in preferred equity investment, plus BNAI is going to receive 25% equity stake in the new South Africa entity and 35% of software revenue shares under the perpetual agreement with the right of first refusal. That was the breakout. That was the story that the stock broke out with on Friday, continuing today up 223%.
Yeah, BNAI was absolutely wild here, Sharif. I remember taking some shots here going into the end of the midday on Friday, and I was like, okay, it's up to 15. I'll take it off there, kind of flipping it in and around. If you guys remember, I was trading the sim last week on Friday, just trying out some of these small caps because I don't really get involved with them too much, but was it very directional and was it very telling when the moves did come in, and a squeeze continuation into the after hours, 82 highs. Talk about a crazy squeeze. And when that buying pressure is all done, we got that 52 breakdown as well as lower highs as well. So multiple opportunities to get involved on this one on the front side of this sell-off. But on the right side here, look at that. When we get that consolidation breakout here, just ripping right back up into this 52 area. So BNAI, I don't think this one is done just yet, Joe, as we've had a multi-day kind of a step-up push on this one. Again, this one started off all the way below $5 here, maybe even lower post-split. This was another one that was a split in the middle of December and eventually caught a bid and has been stair-stepping up, not to mention squeezing up. Talk about a bit of a liquidity trap here. We've talked about these quite often, where you have that initial day with some strong volume, a failure to follow through lower on much lower volume, and then a stair step up, and eventually sometimes you get this bit of a push here as well, as, you know, shorts are running for the door very, very clearly on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. BNAI has been absolute a monster. And I like what Obi was talking about the past couple of days here. You can slowly start to see the volume increase. And I think that's really important to know. Sorry, guys, I drink a little bit of water there. Hydration Nation, and we're right back into things. No, in all seriousness, what an absolute monster move. You can see in the pre-market, Obi, were you talking about the pre-market price action as well, too? No Hull parameters there. Brother, in the post market anyways, on Friday, is when it made a monstrous move from 17 bucks all the way to a high of around $80. That's 360%. All right, vodka always helps. No, there's no vodka in there, my friend. Vodka. Yeah, so, I mean, big-time move starting to recover here in brand engagement networks. Definitely Sharif's world, but interesting stuff. Going from $25 all the way to $51. I would love to pull up the options chain on this one for you guys, but I'm clearly not at my desk. Otherwise, we would see the increase in implied volatility, Obi, and that would be absolutely insane. Save man, woman, peace. Absolutely not. I do not whatsoever. To answer your question. All right. Hi, Joe. David. What's up, David, brother? Oh, I don't have a stream deck either. Guys, this SLV step down since 1 p.m. looks very calculated, execution, trader unloading, very clean. I agree. And I want to know what Obi thinks about this. We were talking about this happening before in the likes of AMD and in Nvidia back in March of 24, I believe it was. But look at this on the daily. Massive gap up. Insane. This is obviously not a spot. This is the ETF. But you climb to a high of around 107, right where we roughly got out. But then now you've given up the majority of the move. But I think what's really, in my opinion, what is the most important signal of this is look at the volume really step in. I think at some point, I'm personally going to classify this as somewhat exhaustion, especially if you're up 50% already on the year. Now, this is one thing that I want to talk about as well, is that if it breaks through that previous 107 high, roughly high, I think there's going to be a little bit more room to go. But this volume print, the inverted hammer, the shooting star doji, whatever you would like to call it from a daily perspective, I think that's going to tell volumes on where we could potentially go here in SLV.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm getting involved. I'm getting in and out on this one. Definitely right there in the chat. It's very methodic, and the selling is very, very structured and stepping down to the downside here. I'll get this chart out of the way because I am staring down my book, to be honest with you guys. Nothing really too crazy to see. Wow, there goes CoreWeave as well at the same time. So, oh boy, on that one. So getting a little chopped up on these initial tries here. I don't even know where my entries and exits are. I'm just kind of trying to go with the flow as best as I can. You can see on the initial push, get into 99s, and then tries for 100 again. I get stopped out once, and then trying again once again with a little bit more, getting comfortable with the craziness that's happening here on this book here. But 99s holding. We're holding below 100 right now. Let's take a look at the. I'm just going to punch out of this one right now because I'm not going to keep eyes on it.
You're out of SLV?
But, for now, we'll see. Maybe we'll get more. Maybe I like the short, man. I like the short, but I didn't like my prices as we just chopping it around. This 100 mark could be a little finicky, right? Could be a little finicky. The day low currently coming in at 97 halves. Now we could just come right back in as well.
You're
right?
short at 99.18, no?
I was.
Oh, okay. I see where you're short.
So we're like fluctuating. This thing is doing like 25 to 50 penny swipes at times, and I don't want to get caught on the wrong side of that move. So scalp mode is very much on because I am chasing this move. I think VWAP was a great place to get involved. That was in and around 102s. Again, wasn't really necessarily watching the stock too much, but if we're going to chop around this 100, I'm going to do okay to kind of just be nimble and quick and just get with some of the pressure that I'm seeing here. And you can see, there you go, back above 99. So this is what I mean. The way it's swiping around, it gave me 60 pennies almost instantly, short of the 20s, dropped down into 50s. I even got a fill on 42s at the lows there as well. You know, 42 sometimes is the answer to the universe.
Oh, that's what I heard.
So I like to post up there sometimes as well. Yeah, 98 42s was a bit of a cover there, but just scalping some stuff out. Definitely getting a little bit bigger as I'm getting more comfortable with some of the action that's going on here. But CoreWeave, man, that was the one for me, and just didn't have enough patience to let this one really pan out. But we'll see what we do with this 100 mark here. I wanted to go to silver futures here, Joe, and take a look at that as well. See if we're coming into any sort of
Did the futures go to a high of there?
What do you mean? Like the...
Because it's not the same as...
So what, 117.73 is what the silver futures went to. Okay, so this is what I wanted to know. Some prior structure here. You can see sideways consolidation for over 12 to 13 hours here. After a bid up, was that on Friday? Nice steady bid. Sunday we opened back up again. as the futures do, and then sideways consolidation on top of that 105 mark here on silver futures, and we're pulling back into this area. So I'll be patient. I'm more than willing to take scalps off of this one, and bit late to the trade. You can see here the reversion does come in much earlier. I like getting in on trend breaks, as you guys know. So on silver futures specifically, if we want to go in and draw a bit of a trend line here, you can see here consolidation, breakout. Where's the first pullback? Boom, right there, chops around 116s, 115s. I think this was the ideal entry. If we go to SLV and kind of identify where that was as well, right here, I talked about that range, and oh boy, did we break out of that range this morning. I was talking to the chat this morning. I was like, okay, silver in a bit of a range. I'm looking for this range break. Guess what? I didn't even have that trade. 145 pre-market level, pulls back in, holds, and we go for the push. And that was an amazing amazing trade there as well. But I know you were definitely part of that one. You can see here very similar. So 105s back through here when that structure starts to break down. That's the trend break for me. I should be getting in and around 105s to 104s, and then maybe getting involved again 102s in and around VWAP. You can see how beautifully some of the structure is printed on this name. So missed trades. Where's the next trade? That's what I'm asking here at the same time. So let me know, were you guys involved in the silver long this morning? Were you involved in the silver short, the backside? I'm curious. We'll be right back from Adara.
Just be aware here, Base 10 CEO and co-founder Tuhin Srivastava currently speaking here on CNBC. Now, in case if you remember or not remember, Nvidia reportedly investing here in Base 10. The interview is kind of awkward to listen to. There's a lag, so they're talking over each other, Tuhin and the interviewer. But either way, they're discussing. ChatGPT's already come up. Some of these Chinese AI models have come up. If there is anything of note, I will let you know. But just be aware, potential Base 10 and Nvidia here could be on watch as Base 10 CEO and co-founder is interviewed by CNBC. Back to you.
Yeah, Data 02. Come on, man. What's going on with it? All right, I think Meta drops after earnings. Bet me memberships versus push-ups. Are we going 1 for 1 on those? All day, my friend. We go. Well, I mean, I don't even know if I could do one right now, to be honest with you.
One-legged push-ups.
That would be hard. I can't even, like, you know what's crazy? So I try to tell my brain to lift my leg, but it can't. It's
not working?
Yeah, it's just not working, yeah. I say, like, lift, and I just keep telling myself, lift it, but I physically can't. It's insane.
But you said you're going to physio, and you're
physio.
Been
to physio a couple times so far. Do my exercises daily. And just slowly starting to apply a little bit pressure on that one. So but Meta, I think Meta climbs a little bit here on earnings, to be honest with you, Vizbot. Well, we'll get that going, but if you're willing to wait, if you're right, we'll go 1 for 1. So for every membership, I'll be generous. I'll go 2 to 1. So for every membership you donate, whoever's right, I'll do 2 push-ups, all right? Want to be a pal? Look at QuadU. Absolutely, Jay Stevenson. I am a pal anyway, so it doesn't even have my pal for my fellow Canadians who are aware of what that is. And did you get the email from the RCMP? Yes, torn ACL, playing hockey, timeless is correct, and I had the surgery. I did the injury way back in April, but then I just had the surgery literally a week and a bit ago, 2 Wednesdays ago. So, yeah, we're on the mend. 10%, a tenth of a percent every day seems to be that pace that we're on. Enough is enough. But Obi was talking about SLV. I mean, one little hot mistake. We only had 5% left at this point. That's why we held it from that 103 mark all the way up to 106 roughly. And then sure enough, we had that move to the downside. I was fortunate enough to make a hotkey error that got me out all the way up here. And then sure enough, we're starting to continue its move a little bit lower. At its peak, we were up 14%. Right? And we're now only up around 6%. And I shouldn't say only, but I think that's signs of a lot. And I would love to show you guys the options chain on the implied volatility. So can I still, not right now, Pops Mafia, come on, brother. Oh, thank you. Z's sent 5 memberships. I don't have the
just gotta open the app and it'll be up.
It would be good there? Okay.
There's exactly 12 Z's in that name.
12 Z's.
If I counted correctly. So
okay.
Thank you very much.
Let's count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4.
For for that super chat. Is that 12 or 13? Maybe I miscounted.
I think I got 13.
13.
I could be wrong though. Don't forget the boy, slightly dyslexic. Z's. But that's all right. Yeah, I think I could. Pops Mafia distance. I think I got him, to be honest. But anyways, aside from that, guys, SLV was definitely our best trade of the day. We can go over Applied Digital. We did get out. This is our last out here, so I was just switching over. So we only had 10 to 20% left at this out right here, but a nice little move in APLD. We get out 80% as it continued to climb higher, but now giving up the majority of its move, going from a positive 3% to down 1.7%. That's not too much fun now, is it? And continuing to move a little bit lower. We're gonna get this on another chart as well, so I can see some clearer prints. Because if the volume really kicks in like it did on this 1 minute candle, and then we hold this zone, you might be able to find an additional bounce play. But my other trade here was Netflix, and we took a small loss on this one. Extremely small potatoes. We were trying to go short, but you see it get that squeeze. Liquidates a lot of the shorts up here, including myself. I liquidated, but I just get out at the break, at the breach of the volume weighted average price, and then sure enough, it gets that flush a little bit lower. But aside from that, Netflix is only down 1/5% here, OB. And I was saying, don't really engage in this. I'm not going to hold too heavy of a bias on this name until we have the ability to break trend. And bias, I more or less mean by long side. I don't think there's going to be too much extension until we have the ability to break and hold on Netflix.
Yeah, Flakes is a pretty interesting one. We were talking about it coming into those prior levels, 82s. It finally got to 80s on its earnings, and we're catching a bit of a bounce here. So I haven't really checked out what's going on over the past couple of days, but what a great bounce off of prior levels here. 82s, if you look back on the weekly, this is where the strongest buyers were over the past, I would say, couple of years, right? I think so. Over the past, 2025. So the April bid, the presidential bid that came in, that was in April. There was strong buying there as well. And then, so early 25. And then coming into 24, in the end of 24 as well, strong buying. Once again, and the first test of this level, here we get some buying. But you can see here on the weekly, man, these prior bars have not broken since about December 1st of last year. And we're continuing to sell off pretty methodically. Maybe we broke a little bit here. Yeah, I guess we did break a little bit here, but every single bar closing pretty much lower than the other, and weekly just a bloodshed on this one, all the way back down in a support level. Let's see if this support level finally holds, and this is where we might get our bounce back towards 90s or even 100s. But honestly, if we're gonna continue this aggressive selling, I do want to reference this multi-year trend. We've been trending here from 22 to 25. That's May of 22 roughly to June of 25. And then we start slowing down and breaking the bid, breaking the trend as well. And the reversion hasn't even reached 50% just yet, Joe. I usually like to look for about a 50% reversion, but we're in and around about, like, I'd say if I were to just eyeball it, getting close to that 25 to 30% reversion. Wow, here comes silver into the day low, so had to stick with that one there, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 with Beta Pro 3X daily leverage ETFs featuring built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. All right, yeah, so we went over our names. We went over Netflix. Obi was talking about that not too long ago, just now as well. I'm avoiding this for quite some time until that deal's done. I think that we're going to have the ability to have the weight lifted off its shoulders, and then we can start to climb a little bit higher, because I think what the catalog of Warner Brothers can bring to the show and what they can have in the pipeline is just going to add. Stranger Things is done. I know there's going to be a spin-off. Obi, were you a Stranger Things guy or?
No, not really.
No way. Okay, all right. I was a big Stranger. Obi, don't.
Yeah.
I'm still sitting.
I just had to check my position.
Who did I see at the top of the list?
Yeah,
there?
I had to check my position.
Come on,
there.
pull it up there. Wow.
So again, we got to go dark mode, because come on, I like the dark mode here. But so far, and I mean, everybody was, talking some smack about that. I said, no, here's a position. So I took it on paper on one of my.
What is this one?
So this is the BW. Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises. I was like, you definitely got to go along this one. I'm joking. I more liked the chart there, and that's pushing up into this range high.
Is this your only long?
This my only long.
Damn.
And yeah, I like the volume profile on this. I like how it's building up. I'm like, all right, cool. I do like this for a bit of a push into these prior levels. And that's coming in nicely, still needs a lot more continuation. But if we do distinctly get past these levels, I think we got a lot of room to go as we continue. And yeah, that's increasing volume that's been piling in from 2024 and a lot of 2025 and increasing into the end of 25. Seems like this year might be interesting as well for BW. And I know a lot of people were talking about that Sidu. Hey man, Sidu's pretty much flat. City's kind of chopping around. This could be my demise. This could just consolidate, and then slap right up. And this has the room to wick all the way, at crazy prices. If we go back into any of these prior levels here, $8 as well. You can see that's coming in potentially, but consolidating sideways.
All right, bro. Bring that stock. Bring this thing up here. How come I need a link, Fabian? Send me the link to this thing here.
Yeah. So
this
is the leaderboard right now.
This is crazy.
So
how did Mateo weasel his way?
Yeah, I know. I saw Mateo on here, and I was like, okay, well, Mateo has.
This is crazy. Like Mateo,
we can see what they have. Right. We can see what each.
I want to see what Mateo's got going on.
So Mateo, let's see what Mateo's got. Because he's got Uber,
Amrise. I knew this.
AMRZ, and then Baba as well. Yeah, he's been talking to me about that one too.
Mateo, you guys, obviously, I don't think you guys ever seen Mateo. Solid dude.
Yeah.
Played hockey with me for a short stint. Mateo. Yeah. Anyways, in the lunchroom, Mateo would be like, yo, check out Amrise, solid dude. We love Mateo. Go down there, okay, Obi. Okay, so can you see the percentage return on each one of your positions?
On mine? Yeah. Of course.
So what do you got?
14.23% on Circle.
Oh, you're up.
20% on the long, which is BW, and then 6% down on the SID.
You're short Circle.
I'm short Circle.
And you're up 14%.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, a lot of people don't like swing shorts, and it's just.
But how are you only up 9.3%? On the ranking.
On the total, probably because of the Sidu. I don't know.
Well, the math isn't mathing there, my boy.
That's the total. Yeah, I don't know.
That math isn't mathing. Like if we do, I think 34 minus 28.
No, it's 9% on the 10K, I think, on this right here. So on the total.
Oh, okay,
so
okay,
that's what it is.
I'm running a negative percentage metric right now, 2.3.
I mean, dude, we still have.
We have a lot of time. Yeah, we got a lot of time.
It's not even the end of January yet. Anything can happen.
I messaged Sharif and I'm like, you know what? I believe I'm in the most dangerous position right now. 7th place, lucky number 7.
What were your picks? Let's go through.
Let's go over my picks here.
Okay, CrowdStrike, JPM, and Walmart. Let's see how those are doing here.
Walmart might be a dud. Walmart might be might do me a little bit dirty, but I'm not worried about CrowdStrike. It's because I got in at Walmart on a horrible time, like right after a gap up, and I'm like, man, what is this nonsense? So
yeah, no, I mean, here's the thing, man. Walmart. So when I was going through the stocks for our picks, I was like, okay, we're like a year-long swing.
Yeah,
I don't want to look at dailies. I don't want to look at weeklies.
This guy want to look at monthly.
I want to look straight up at a 3-month chart.
That's crazy, man.
I'm looking at a 3-month chart. Let's break the year up into some quarters, right? So I'm just like, okay, we'll look into three, or not necessarily quarters. But,
let's go through a lot of these analyst picks. So we know Mateo has Amrise, right? Can we go back to our thing? Is that Amrise Limited?
Time, yeah.
Okay, that's a monthly, right? And then he has Uber. I know he's been talking about that. And Alibaba.
Uber looks pretty solid here.
It looks pretty good on the 3-month though, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, first swing, what? Just like how it's a lot of daily and the weeklies are considered noise. If I'm looking for anything that I'm looking to hold for a longer time,
so you're avoiding that.
I'm just like, I don't need any of that noise if I'm looking for the build up on a higher time frame. Okay. So 3 months, I think, is a good.
How's my boy CrowdStrike looking up there?
Yeah, CrowdStrike looks great, man.
Great.
Like very strong uptrend. But you can see the range on some of these bars, right?
Yeah.
Each bar can have quite a wide range.
Yeah.
So even though it is very much,
I think we get some buying pressure.
Can we maybe down down here.
Can we get this to a monthly maybe? Let's get
Like
this down.
1 month?
Yeah, 1 month.
Okay, yeah, we'll go to the 1
See what
month.
we got going. Oh, that's
This is a
dangerous.
beautiful
Yeah, watch
trend,
out for CrowdStrike.
Oh, look at that. Boom. Right there. We're holding this really, really well for now. So, yeah, solid picks by everybody.
Yeah, go through there, Joe. Who's in last place here?
Let's go to last place. Neil is coming
Neil.
at last place. So let's see. AVAV, I think he only had longs as well. CRSP and FCX. So we can take a look at
Sean
those
falling
as well.
down the ranks there. He was 8th last time I checked. I've been holding 7th steady. That was last week when I seen it.
It's good balance.
Chat. Yeah. Chat. I'm holding.
We got to see what the chat is.
I might. Yeah. You know what? CrowdStrike, JP Morgan, Walmart. I'm pretty balanced out there, man.
Yeah, I think
to be honest with you,
just need more time. That's all it is.
More time, especially with CrowdStrike, Walmart. I thought you were going to be the one that could climb up to Ram in 5th place. It's insane. Sharif starting to climb a little bit higher.
Definitely got the bump with Rocket Lab because I think
Thermo
right
Fisher.
after RKLB, RKLB's been catching a pretty solid.
Sharif climbing the
wow,
ranks.
look at this one. Oh my God, this one is straight. I mean, with the expanding volume as well. Ramin. Come on. You got to tell us about some of these names because I'm not even looking at Rocket Lab. And Sharif, number 4th with Thermo Fisher and North.
We need a big year out of Sharif because he finished, our boy finished dead last last year with a staggering, I think it was like a 3% return.
I think this year's going to be different.
You think with Thermo Fisher and Northrop Grumman, and then who else? He has Broadcom as well too. So
the only trader with all 3 greens right now coming in at 2nd place is
Adara.
Right here with that circle short as well.
Let's go, Adara.
Wow. Sorry, not Oracle. Oracle or RCL right there coming in. Wow. So you look at this one, right? That one's really like that looks like capitulation right there to me, but we'll see how Oracle pans out.
Does Adara have 2 shorts or just one?
Just one, I think.
Starbucks
and Boeing. Wow. Okay.
I like the Boeing play from Adara.
I like Boeing as well. That one got beaten down pretty aggressively last year.
Starbucks is purely technical, and I've said this, I do not love what Brian Niccol is doing with all those Sharpies, but like I do like the technicals, and I think now that he stopped buying Sharpies, maybe the business can be fixed.
I think, if it's coming down to Sharpies, we might be in a little bit of trouble. But in all seriousness, Adair, I like how they're slowly starting to close locations that aren't as busy. We talked about that. You have a location closing around you. So I think that's really, really massive and going to help increase margins. Obviously, employees being some of the largest, and then paying for the rental and the brick and mortar, especially in expensive places like here in Toronto and stuff like that.
I've seen a lot of them closing down, man.
So Starbucks, I think that can be really good for the top and their bottom line for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think let's go through a couple more here. Boeing, that's the one I wanted to see here. So Boeing, that one was beaten down quite heavily coming into, I guess, 2020 was that selling, but even a good chunk of 24, we saw that not really kind of recovering, but this consolidation is quite nice. And I think it was it Berkshire that got into Boeing earlier last year. I forget who it was, or that might have been Berkshire Hathaway maybe, or that was UNH that I'm thinking of. I think that's what they bought. Yeah, they bought UNH. This was another one of my potential picks here, but I'm like I'm not gonna buy something that very clearly as of right now looks like it's on the backside of the move where it kind of broke this 430. This was a multi-year consolidation low, and we broke it on a catalyst with volume. So that's definitely going to be some headwind all the way up here at 420s, 423s as well for UNH. But yeah, a little bit of a bounce happening, consolidation. I don't know if this is really capitulation, but we'll see. 300, that long, anybody, I know a few people who got long 250s to 300s. Anybody who got that, they're sitting very pretty right now on this push on UNH. But let's get back to the market, man. Where is the next trade? That's what I'm looking for. We're coming on to Power Hour now, Joe. So I want to kind of go back and take a look at some of the stocks that I had on watch this morning on my watch list. Now, I usually like to do the 8 splay here. So you know what? I'll just pull that in and we can look at it from here at the same time. So you guys can see this right here. So USAR. Solid push into day lows there, and coming in with the short sellers very, very dominant. Silver, wow, what a reversion, and a long as well. App loving the bid off of the open. That had a bit of a catalyst this morning, so that one caught a bid all the way up to 558. IONQ, another one that was not only strong in the Blue Ocean session, but also strong in the pre-market. That's selling off pretty aggressively. CRML, strong selling off of the open as well. I guess I have App 11 on here twice. And BTGO. That was that IPO from last week, and I was honestly just looking for a continuation. So that one was a big one for me, where I'm just like, I've seen this before on other IPOs where day 3 we just get slapped or continue to get slapped. And BTGO today, if you like the continuation, go straight down to a 1 minute. Not too much volume here. Okay, this is not going to show me all the information. Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about that. But continuing to sell off today, once again, as BTGO hits that 1288. So today is, it should be day 2 or day 3. Today is day 3 of BTGO. So we had that sell-off all the way from 20s, that 20 breakdown on day 1. That was quite nice as well. Yeah, this is not showing me the data. It's the funny thing that TradingView is doing now is like, if you don't actually pay for some of the data, they kind of, they don't give you all of the information specifically on IPOs.
Oh, really, eh?
Yeah. Wow, so I'm noticing that distinct difference with these guys, and I'm like, that's no good.
It is a no good. Yeah, we don't want that. We're involved in a little bit of Applied Digital. I mean, I punched on this one, and I was instantly like 15 cents OTM on this. So we'll see. We're only going to hold this to the low of the day. We're trying to catch a falling, but I have half the size in which my first position was, so I have no issues with getting a little bit involved here. Looks like we're going to break it momentarily. I'll hold it for as long as I can, but we also want to stick to our risk measures. There was a hammer candle right off of the lows on some volume, so I'm going to look for this to hold. A post-up would have been better than just punching, considering this still has like a 2-cent spread with 41 million shares traded here on the day. So we'll sit in this Applied Digital. Let's see if we can get an additional bounce here. I mean, ever since we got out, even before that, it's been continuous selling. So we're going to keep an eye out on Applied Digital just in case there's any form of a bounce. Once again, we had that all-time high touch earlier today, and then we gave up the majority of that and headed right back into the middle of the zone. You can see it on the daily over here, guys, as Applied Digital down 3.8%, might even head a little bit lower. All right, now 36.27, we'll take that one on Applied Digital. That is going to be forming on the ask. Silver, so you how many trades, how many tickers have you traded today? I've only traded 3 today, Obi. Silver being the honcho of them all, and then we had 2 on Applied Digital, and then I'm 1 short on Netflix, and I'm glad that we avoided that one because it's really tricky, and that's been my game plan as of late. Is just I don't think that the NVDAs and some of the other names are necessarily in play right now, and I think the daily can speak volumes on that as well too, considering I was talking about this not too long ago. It's just look at the daily on Nvidia, whatever you like to call it. It's just not pretty. I am swinging a little bit of this too. I bought it on Friday, but if we break 185s, I'm going to get all out of this thing because we've been consolidating since August. So a whole lot of nothing, a big time whipsaw move right here. And what I was going to mention before we send it off to Obi, and what I want to see here in NVDA that would get me really intrigued and want to add more even in my long-term position is a liquidity grab south of these support levels. Are we going to get that? I don't know. But if we do, I think that's going to be a good buying opportunity here in NVDA.
As traders, whether you trade U.S. stocks, options, or futures, at some point, each of us has felt blindsided. Suddenly, a stock you're trading moves sharply, and you're left guessing why. And it's not your fault. Often, large funds have quietly built huge positions in the options market well before the name you're trading reacts. To gain an edge in today's markets, Spot Gamma's daily Flow Patrol report reveals where big money is positioned, so you can identify stocks building momentum ahead of major price moves. Get 2 free weeks of Spot Gamma's Flow Patrol, scan the QR code on the screen, and go behind the curtain to see what the professionals see. What's up, Adara?
Take a look here at LKQ Corporation. This company obviously had a bit of a move earlier today. There was a halt and then it was resumed. The halt was for news because the company announced they're going to be doing a strategic review process, potentially, I guess, for going private. Now we have Roth coming out here with a takeover note saying that they believe LKQ could be worth low to mid $50 per share in a potential takeover. Right now, stock trading around $34.50. So that low to mid $50 a share price would be a significant premium here for LKQ. Back to you.
Just come to my attention that BNAI is halted, and I think Jay Cornish in the chat mentioning that as well. So BNAI continues to give us crazy moves. We talked about this one a little bit in the on the rundown here, back all the way up to 63s, man. I thought this thing was done down in the 30s. We got to a low of 26s. I'm like, all right, $80 to 26. This thing might just consolidate and fall off. We probably squeezed out everybody here, but nope, not yet. Proven wrong once again. Their consolidation breakout through that 37.38 level, stepping up onto 50, and now stepping up. Halted down currently, apparently. Let's just take a quick check. Yeah, that is definitely halted down as of right now. 54.31s is where it's halted, and yeah, that's pretty solid. Let me know how many people in the chat were trading BNAI today. IONQ. I was talking about this one. Straight fader continues to sell off. Yeah. Straight up, seller very dominant on the day, and over two times relative volume on this one, and pretty steady volume as well. You can see here some strong bars in the beginning of the day, and sure, we stepped down a little bit, but pretty sustained volume here as we continue to sell off. And look at these prior bars on the 15, man. Clean push. We have not broken anything since this bar here at about 12 o'clock, and that price slapped up against VWAP. Not even close, way extended below, and breaking down some prior week lows at the same time on IONQ. Take a look at our GTI here as well. Let's take a look at some of the ones in this sector. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Same kind of story here, selling off. Maybe some, check out the, not SBR, SMR. Check out the small nuclear reactors, maybe kind of similar sector there. Okay, pulling back down as well. Strong sellers on board on this one at the same time. Circle, that was the one, and I did call out that 69 level. That is the opening price for Circle, and I did, when I pulled it up earlier, I was like, okay, well, we're coming into that level, so turbulence definitely expected on this one. Don't know if we're going to make a full circle back up to its highs here, all the way maybe up into hundreds, or yeah, the 91 highs, structure highs from the past couple of months, but 69 is that opening price. If we go down to the weekly, if we go up to the weekly, you can see here that the opening price was right there. We're consolidating onto that. Maybe we're getting that, you know, some people like to call this bouncy ball, so much higher time frame, bouncy ball into some of these lows, maybe looking for that crack down as well. And that's kind of what gave me conviction for this as one of my picks as well, because it has bled out quite decently, and I know a few players are definitely, I don't know if they're still short, but they definitely took the short, 280s, 260s, 250s, and then 200s as well for the swing short. So I know I'm you know, really maybe not even catching the meat of the move, maybe
so let me ask you about this then, considering your short circle. Yeah. How do you feel about stable coins?
I mean, I think that, you mean like Bitcoin and...
No, stable coins, so like US backed essentially.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I think those might be a little bit more linked to the Dixie than anything, to the dollar. Yeah. Than anything, but I'm not really too familiar with with that.
Because like Circle is the largest holder of USDT.
Yeah, no,
right.
Tether. So, yeah, they hold some Tether, but I think that again, we talked about oversubscription, right? This thing was, I forget exactly how oversubscribed this was on the IPO, but it was like multiples. I think it might have been like a few 100% oversubscribed off of the IPO. Correct me if anybody knows what the specific oversubscription was, but the underwriting price was $33. So the underwriters, the banks that actually did some of this IPO, their price, if they're going to defend any price, is down at 33. right? And we opened up at 69.
Yeah,
and then we squeezed or kind of pushed all the way,
What's the
went
price of it
parabolic
right now?
300.
Sorry, I forget what was the price
We're coming
of it
into $71.
Oh, so
Right?
there's some room to...
There's a lot of room.
Yeah,
we break all-time lows at 64.
Wow.
We got about 50% more to go. Right?
Yeah.
Down to that price. So if you think that fair value is the underwriter's price where they valued this thing, the only reason why I opened up at 69 was because of the crazy oversubscription that it had.
So Electric Passion says the whole stablecoin buying treasuries and debt is so bent. Now, I'm going to say this one thing. Obviously, domestically, there's no issue. But when you're starting to try to move money and large amounts of money across the globe and globally, I think that's when they really can come into play. And that's when you're going to start to see the efficiency in a lot of companies, right? Just considering all the transaction fees that it may cost to just move money. Like, it's not that easy. If I wanted to send money to Jamaica right now, I'd have to go to Western Union and go through that whole process. And I'm not saying that, like, hey, you do need people to have stablecoin or a stablecoin wallet, but once you have that really integrated into day-to-day, like here in Canada, we have e-transfer. In the States, you have your Venmo, you have your Zells, you have your Cash Apps and everything. And once that's kind of all integrated and put into one, I think that's when they're really going to start to shine. And it's important to know that in order to move forward and not stay in, like, in my opinion, the dinosaur age of transferring money across the world without it necessarily being a cryptocurrency is when stablecoins are really going to start to come into play.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're looking to come into that world, but I think at the same time, some of the scare right now is with the way that AI is kind of exponentially growing.
Dude,
quantum computing can become a thing.
It is a thing.
If quantum computing really does become a thing, then like Bitcoin, bye-bye. All of these technology is kind of rendered obsolete. It might take some time to rebuild some of the cryptocurrencies in a way where you can kind of be what do you call resistant to some of that quantum. Can
I say something, Obi?
Yeah, what's up?
Listen, like, I think you and I, we're the same age, obviously. We grew up in an age where, like, the social media platforms and stuff like that with YouTube really started to emerge in Facebook. But with this AI boom, I'm telling you right now, for myself, with someone who grew up around computers and video games and all that stuff, I'm actually having a hard time, like, looking at and understanding what's real and what's fake. That line is officially blurred for me.
It's starting to blur.
It's really starting to blur, right? And I'm like, what's going to happen down the lines? Like, I don't know what you guys think about this. Like, my grandma's like, be careful. And I'm like, I listen to her, obviously. Yeah. But for me to be like, yes, be careful, because I'm even someone who, like, a couple of months ago, you could distinctly tell, like, hey, this was fake, this was real. But that line is, like, it feels like every passing week and every passing day, that line is getting blurrier and blurrier. So I don't know how you feel about that or how you guys feel like it. It's really tough to distinguish what is real and what's fake in some things now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Here is a medical device company to keep an eye on. NView, medical ticker FEED. The company designs and markets a guided feeding tube platform to hospitals across the U.S. today. The majority of hospitals do this procedure blindly, leading to unavoidable injuries from misplacements. Think of the platform as GPS for feeding tube placement, which can improve patient safety and streamline how care teams work. What stands out to me is the growing appetite for this platform throughout the U.S. hospitals and how their tech fits right into clinical needs. Today, they are already in 38 hospitals. As hospitals push for safer, more efficient solutions, NView looks like a company building scalable technology with real-world demand behind it. Definitely one to watch. Yeah, I'm curious. Obi, I know what you. I'm curious what you think, and also to the chat as well too. Joe's still in hospital out there. Yeah, exactly, Los Police. This may not even be me. You don't even know. I could be just like put on the screen or something along those lines. But I think that the line is really starting to get blurred, and I think it's going to continue to be that way to the point where we can't even distinguish what's real and what isn't.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. That distinction is getting harder and harder for sure. And sometimes you can tell. that you know, this is very much AI. Like if you look at the movements, there's something off about it. You know, there's like the physics are kind of slightly off. Here with the movements of whatever's going on the screen.
With some
but
things.
certain things they're just so real. It's just like, okay, you know, it's very easy where there's not a lot of movement and there's just like maybe just like camera movement instead of like character movement. Yeah, it's definitely difficult to tell, and it's only going to get better.
Exactly.
Right? And the crazy thing here as well, Joe, is just like I think like 3D animators. Like their jobs are very much at stake as well. I mean, alongside everybody else's, sure, but you can see some of these you know, like memes that are coming out of in 3D animated. They look exactly like it's a Disney movie. And it's been made all by AI. And think about it. And Disney has also made that deal recently.
I see a lot of those.
I think did they make a deal with OpenAI? I think that's what it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but regardless, Disney's getting into that as well because they understand the value, right? They understand the value. They're just like, now we might just need you know, good story writing, and even then, some of the AIs might be able to study all of human history and be like, yeah, these are the stories that people like, so we're going to come up with this as well.
Dude,
a lot of people were like, oh, AI is never going to be creative.
No.
I mean, when you give it a base of pretty much a lot of what we've made over the past, let's say, even 100 years.
Yeah.
Like there's creativity in that, and it can learn and evolve from that as well.
Dude, you see some of the robotics now, like they're learning how to change each other's batteries and plug each other in.
Exactly.
So they charge at night. It's like the direction. You and I will be long gone. I say this quite often, but when this really starts to evolve, have you ever seen the movie The Creator?
Creator, no.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch The Creator. It is sick, man. It's really sick. It's a newer one as well, too. David, that's hot.
2023.
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch this, man. It's all about AI and stuff like that. It's a pretty good movie. Really enjoyed that since Trader.
I mean, hey, Pinocchio did it first.
What do you do?
Be real.
What do you do?
You know, we're talking about like having like a living, moving, like a mannequin or a puppet or whatever.
Yeah, man, that's only
that can kind of think for itself. But you know, we might be in a lot of trouble. We got to figure some stuff out.
It'd be a good thing. I watched, in my time laying down, I watched an AI documentary. There's obviously two sides to the coin, Obi. It can really help countries become more efficient, and you can really build ecosystems, multi-tier transportation, how to build like a prime ecosystem in a major metropolitan like Toronto, where you have the cleanest of airs, but then you can have the other side of things where everybody's saying Skynet and all of that stuff. So
I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the future.
Yeah.
Because there will be pain, there will be struggle, like adaptation is definitely going to happen. But at the same time, I do trust the human species because that's what we've been doing for millennia. We kind of you know, we react, adapt, act. I don't know how the saying goes, but. You know, shout out to The Office. So we're definitely pretty decent at that over time, and I'm sure we'll figure out a way to coexist. And think about it, we'll have a lot more time on our hands.
Yeah. I mean,
so then we can get into conversations like UBI and stuff like that. Because if everyone's out of a job, then how do you really navigate that terrain and make sure everyone's kind of, you know?
But that's what I was looking for. Someone in the chat said. Someone said, AI can't take your job if you don't have one. so I found that funny. Yeah, I mean, appreciate that, Erie Pages. So yeah, AI can't take your job. Guys, we're just sitting in APLD. You see us in this position. It's not doing too much. I think at this point where it's going to break down. So yeah, once we do crack that the support level, sorry, just massaging my leg a little bit. 36.10s. We're gonna hop out of this one. We'll give it 20 cents or so. I think that's gonna be a good area and a good inflection point to say, hey, we're gonna either break down or continue to maybe get somewhat of a rebound here. It'll be down 1.4%, 1.5% here on APLD.
Yeah, I'm watching this Tesla at the same time here. Let me pull up the chart. Yeah, Tesla's also catching a bit of a strong sell into the close. So I don't know what's going on over here, but we saw more of the same in the morning session. Tesla distinctly different from the rest of its the rest of its peers in the Mag 7 and selling off pretty aggressively while the rest were catching a bit of a bid here. But you can see the market was or is pretty strong on the day, up about 0.5% roughly. I don't know if you want to consider that strong, but holding its gains from the morning session going into the last hour with only roughly about 40 minutes and some change left until the bell. The market is holding up quite well, but Tesla coming into the close, coming into 435s, the day lows is what I'm seeing here. So we did break down of this low here at 436s and some change, and pushing a little bit lower as of right now with the day low of 434.75. So maybe something spicy on the close with this one, but I'm not really seeing anything else too crazy here. Let's see, invest in, okay, so we'll be right back from Madeira, but you guys leave it in the chat. What are you guys trading? Do you guys see anything that might be in play going into the close as well?
Speaking of things that could be in play that people might be trading, you know what? Something that people will often be trading, earnings names. And tomorrow we have a doozy before the bell. UNH, UPS, GM, Northrop Grumman, RTX, JetBlue, American Airlines, Boeing, NextEra Energy, and UNP all reporting earnings. So tons of pre-market earnings for tomorrow. And if you want to know what's reporting when and what the implied moves are going to be, this infographic was just posted on X at TTV Research. You can find more information there. I also want to mention, I have some fun earnings previews for at least 3 of the names reporting before the bell. There's also a combined defense earnings preview that'll include Northrop Grumman and RTX. So between those, we've got like half the earnings tomorrow covered. Either way, here is the very well-dressed CEO of United Parcel Service, or UPS, and we'll get a little bit of a look here at that earnings preview. They did beat estimates for EPS and revenue last quarter, though domestic revenue did decline year over year. Again, UNH, there's going to be an implied earnings preview out pretty soon. And then BA, Boeing, it's already out. So again, exit to TV Research, over to OP now.
Yes, biotechnology, that's PDSB on the Nasdaq, is transforming how the immune system fights cancer, with initial focus on HPV-16 positive head and neck cancer. HPV-16 can cause head and neck cancer, and more people are facing these high-risk cancers than ever before. The head and neck cancer that's HPV-16 positive, they're projected to become the most common type of head and neck cancer in the United States in a few years. Learn more at pdsbiotech.com. All right, thank you very much, Dara, for that. Yeah, no, definitely earnings will be on watch. This is a very, very hot week, and we got the Fed coming in as well. I think they usually do on Thursday. I gotta make sure when that is specifically.
Fed Wednesday.
Fed on Thursday, but
Thursday or Wednesday.
I'll be looking forward to some of these earnings names. Maybe that's what the market is doing. Market's just like chilling, waiting for some of these earnings reports to make a bit of a move here. We'll be right back from Madeira.
Keep an eye here on BAH. This is Booz Allen Hamilton. You may have mentioned, I mentioned this one around probably this time of day. Sean mentioned it as well, I believe. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent confirming that the Treasury has canceled department contracts with this consulting firm, BAH. Now, BAH, in addition to being a day 2 earnings play, did drop on this news. Now, here's basically what happened. I guess the Treasury Department noticed that between 2018 and 2020, a Booz Allen Hamilton employee by the name of Charles Edward Littlejohn, quote, stole and leaked the confidential tax returns and return information of hundreds of thousands of taxpayers. So with that in mind, I mean, this individual is currently serving a prison sentence, but either way, the Treasury Department canceled this this contract. But it's interesting here, too. I bring this up now because BAH just responded. Booz Allen saying, quote, when the criminal conduct occurred over 5 years ago, it was on government systems, not Booz Allen systems. Booz Allen stores no taxpayer data on its system. So even though it was an employee who did this breach, Booz Allen saying essentially they were not in fault because it wasn't on their systems. Either way, that's being reported by Fox Business. Interesting response here for BAH. I guess this is going to go in day 3 earnings play tomorrow, guys. Back to you.
I heard Lil Jon there, and I was like, yeah. Okay, so something that kind of was not necessarily on my radar, but eventually, sometime during the day, it did come on my radar, was Zoom Communications. Kind of a funny story on this one. I don't know if you've heard what's going on here, but apparently they were one of an early investor. I don't know angel investor specifically, but early investor in Anthropic, which is maybe potentially due to IPO this year. And that news has been kind of spreading around, and we're getting multiples of relative volume here, 3 to 4 times, increasing up to 6 to 7 times coming into the end of the day. I had this one on watch because I was like, where are you running? Why are you running? And for a potential reversion, but guess what? That reversion still hasn't come in. No strong reasons to sell. Maybe you can get in. Yeah, I looked at this and I was like, yeah, maybe potentially on this trend break. Yeah, it gave you a bit of a scalp, but nothing really convincing. Sure, it gave you a 1.5% or a 1.5% of a pullback, but not even into VWAP. Nothing crazy on the crack of that trend. Holding sideways here on Zoom communication. So I have been stalking this one all day, waiting to pick up a potential call for the short, but that call still has not come in just yet. So let's see what this one has been up to on a higher time frame. At the same time, this might be a little bit of a multi-day play here as we push past this consolidation. So, oh man, look at this. This is is this multi-year? Yeah, this is about 406 days and about 59 bars on the weekly, roughly in and around there. Breaking out of this consolidation is Zoom. Now, if you guys were around during COVID, Zoom was, the talk of the town. Zoom was absolutely crazy, parabolic move. Another name that was an absolutely beautiful swing short as well, like a lot of the names that went absolutely parabolic during that time. And steadily been stepping down, 588 all-time highs. But you can see this. Is this a rounded bottom? Maybe. We got back into the area where buyers were before, all the way in 19, maybe for different reasons, but bid potentially coming back in and stepping up and breaking some highs on the day today. So I'll be watching this one. Let's see if this one can potentially come into 100 over the next couple of days. But I don't really know. Do you use Zoom at all? No. I remember there was a time where I was using it more frequently. A lot of people moved from Skype to Zoom. Whatever happened to Skype? I don't even remember. I think Meta owns it, or something like that. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. But yeah, Zoom did take over, and they did extremely well. Especially and then people started using Teams. People started using different things. Got sold off aggressively.
Yeah, Brian Thompson asked if it will go back to 500. I don't think so. I mean, DocuSign is another one of those names. I think that DocuSign has we'll pull it up right now. So let's pull up Docu. I mean, I don't know. I think this should be more adopted, to be honest with you. I like DocuSign, but the chance of it going back to its COVID levels, I mean, you may as well just buy a lottery ticket at that point. You have higher probability, I think, of it going back up there. Anything can happen. But this thing was, it just gets even worse the more you zoom out here. $311, all the way down to $51, 83%. Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen. Put a ring on it. What does that mean? What does that mean, Obi? Do you know what put a ring on it means? No problem, Brian.
Yeah, married to the position. I think that's what
is that what he means? Oh, to DocuSign? No, I think I'll be okay on that one, David. I'll put a ring on. If I was gonna put a ring on any position, what is it gonna be? That's a great question. Let's see. Okay, what is it? To put a ring on any position, any one name.
I mean, you had some pretty solid picks that are in uptrends.
Yeah, you know what? I think it would. I like that you mentioned that, Obi. I think it would have to be JPM.
Oh yeah.
Just married to the money game at that one point, and then just nice and steady upcline. So just consistency in the banking name, and I think that's what people want as their married stock picker's choice.
David's saying just get a solid prenuptial.
Yeah.
You get married, but get a prenup.
The prenup would be just like a boatload of puts or writing calls and stuff.
Gotta get a hedge on it.
Write a bunch of calls against it if it was deciding to tank ever and get those that options wheel going. But yeah, JPM I think is something that I would most.
We're gonna start trading options soon. I don't know.
I know. I've seen that, man. Did you
first quarter?
Yeah, I heard that.
It's on its way.
It's on some names though.
So Mag 7's for sure, right? Mag 7 SPY for sure.
Did you see? Remember, I typed. Look at this on iBid.
Yeah, wow,
if we can pull up my screen there, Assassino. So what I'm showing you, I don't know if you can zoom in over here. So this is going to be the start. Can you zoom in this corner here, Assassino? I don't know if you can. Oh no, why'd I do that? I'll try it one more time. Sorry.
Right there, yeah.
Oh,
There's a drop down.
Hold on, IBIT there. Yeah, boom, there it is. Boom, look at that. These are the contracts, guys. Some good stuff over there. Let's see the expiration cycle. Okay, these are all the 23rd. Doesn't make any sense. What is today, 25th? But anyways, yeah, so last week, I guess, there. And then each increment in strike price is 47, 47, 50, 50, $49, 49, 50, 50, 50. So I told Obi, one thing that I'm going to be doing consistently is just going over to the SPY on the Amex and then just buying a far out of the money call for like $10 or so on 0 DTE, obviously. And then if it happens to a quadruple X or anything, if not worst case scenario, you just lose $10. So you just buy that contract. And if you happen to catch a nice trend day out of the gate on the SPY or the Qs, then you can walk out with a pretty half decent day.
I think it's going to be solid, man. I think even then, like, we can start like getting more, I guess, creative with some of our trading strategies as well. Yeah. Maybe taking a position and an idea using both options and shares at the same time. I've already started to look into some of those potential strategies and maybe.
I wonder what the parameters on writing options is going to be.
I don't think we're going to have that. I don't think we're going to have any sort of writing. We're just going to have outright buying calls or puts. Because in order to the downside on you have a fixed
on the
downside
writings,
on purchasing calls and puts, but on writing them, it's a little bit up in the air.
Definitely a different game, that's for sure.
From a risk management perspective, from the firm, I think it's a step in the right direction, and I think that once maybe certain traders can exhibit trust and profitability and over time, then maybe they'll be allowed to trade. But that's just my hope. I don't know if that's going to happen.
What does that mean, Leanne Valdez? What's the best way to find 1020 options? What does that mean? I don't know. I like the 10th month, like so October 20th options. I don't know what you necessarily by that. So. Yeah, I think it's going to be great, to be honest with you. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm surprised. Like, did you see it on any other names there, Obi? Like IBIT, why does the name pop up on IBIT? Does it come up on ETHA? No. There's just so many different, there's just so many different obviously exchanges that this is on. So I don't know why it just does it for IBIT. I remember I was typing it in one time, and then that's when we seen the options. So they're going to be looking to get a look at that. And I wonder if there's going to be a drop-down chain a little bit more detailed than this, where we can get involved with the Greeks and stuff. You know how we have the imbalance locator? Imagine you could just pull up the chain like that. I wonder if that's how it's going to work. I think that'd be pretty cool, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like I said, I'm very excited for that as well. And again, it's going to open up the world to a whole different set of strategies that we can run, especially off of the open if we have certain biases coming into the day for specific stocks as well. You know, increasing maybe your risk for the day, maybe leveraging on the bias that you have. So there's so many different things that I'm very much excited for. Easy peasy. 369 in the chat. Thank you very much for the super chat. 2.2% NY Res State negative day of the year. Sean and Neil's fault. JK. Okay, so you're I guess you're down 0.2% on the day. Of his earning. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. You're sending a 0.2% of what you made today as a super chat. So okay, thank you very much. Hey man, you don't have to win big every single day.
$200.
Yeah,
nice.
You don't have to win big every single day. So congrats on being green. Again, the market had very few places where you could really leverage and get aggressive on the day today. I know a lot of traders were looking at SLV, and that was one of the places that you could have gone pretty aggressive and leveraged as well on the long. And we saw that Joe had the long in the morning. I tried to take a bit of the short, but you had to be involved much higher, right? 105s, 102s was a great place to push in to silver. But yeah, silver silver, absolutely beautiful in terms of opportunity and the move that it gave on the day today. I still have to keep eyes on it. Yeah, sideways action here. So I'm glad I got out of this one there as, wow, that daily chart, that weekly
that's
chart
what I'm saying, dude. I'm
so beautiful.
Like,
oh my God.
Watch out for the short tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe just looking for a prior day close. Like what structures have we been holding? Okay, so prior week low has held quite well. We might get that week low breakdown, but like we still have 4 days. Prior week is all the way down here at 81s, 82s. So I've been looking for a potential blow off top. Is this it? I have no idea. But on the intraday here, we're pulling in and consolidating or chopping around this 100 mark. So I did try a little bit of a pull in or push into that 99s. Below that, we didn't get too far below that, only to 96 halves. So and then trading right back up into 99s, 98, 90s as of right now. So, but this is what I'm talking about. Great opportunity. I defined some of these levels in the pre-market session where I was just like, okay, this is a tight range. We gapped up, we're holding this range. So coming into the day, I just want to be very simple, see what it does with this range and get involved. Range break, pull back, hold of resistance turned into support, and then push. What does that confluence with? VWAP. VWAP once again. So that gives me a lot of conviction again, but I wasn't really watching this one as closely because I was so fixated on was it CoreWeave? CRWV. I already forgot what the name was. I can see the chart in my head. I'm like, but I don't remember exactly what the name was. But CoreWeave, very, very beautiful move as well. Bit of a squeeze or a push off of the open, a little aggressive, which had me thinking, okay, well, this might be a little too far, too fast. And also being held down. Those sellers step right back in, and aggressively so, might I add, all the way back into and through VWAP. 104s was a great area here as well. And we've been stair-stepping down into some of those pre-market levels here. So this is what I marked off. I'm going to continue watching this for the next couple of days. They had news that Nvidia is taking a stake with CoreWeave. So pretty decent news. We've seen how some of the stocks react to that specific kind of news, but this thing held down pretty decently while the rest of the market was held up. So I'm watching this at the same time as Nvidia. Nvidia got that news with Microsoft coming in and being like, all right, we're going to make some of our own chips to let off the load that we're putting on, I guess, Nvidia. Nvidia's not really getting a load put on, but finally a competitor, right? Finally a competitor that actually has some money to back their claims.
Oh, Microsoft, you're saying?
Yeah, Microsoft coming out with their own chip.
I mean, they got a lot of ways to go, obviously, with that, but OpenAI obviously liking it, make it a little bit cheaper for them. I mean, I don't know how many. Sam Altman is he's in a lot of debt to a lot of people, in my opinion. So a lot of people in bed with a lot of investors, raised a lot of capital, and he might not even come out on top. Like if we're talking about LLMs. I know you were talking about Grok this morning, and then obviously we have Gemini as well too. But as for certain tools, and I like what Sean was talking about, is like what is the best for what? I think for grabbing information in the collective articles, I like using Perplexity. Yeah. Right? I don't think I've ever used Anthropic. What? I don't think so. Anyways. Gemini is great for image creation, right? Like Nano Banana. Coding, I was using ChatGPT, and I've never used Grok either. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just replying to Mike P. the writer here, yeah, no, I've heard. I haven't used Grok yet, but I've started kind of looking at how Claude works from a coding and programming perspective. It's absolutely beautiful. It's almost a game changer, and there's a lot of hype going on around about CloudBot. If you guys know what that's about, kind of a personal AI assistant that you can put on a standalone computer, and it literally can do almost anything and everything that a human can. So it's your personal assistant that you can talk to via text messaging and ask it to do things for you and get some work done while maybe you're away from the desk, or just have a personal AI assistant, right? And again, this is what we mean when I say the world is going to change, and it's going to start to change real fast. So yeah, Mike P. DeRider saying that, yeah, you know, I'm looking for the next trade. Looking for the next trade. And Patrick J. DeVal. Joe Boy, thank you very much for the super chat there. I think that's a play on words for oh boy, but Joe Boy.
Joe Boy, oh
yeah,
boy.
Yeah. Hey. But yeah, no, I can't really find anything to trade right now. So the imbalances might be it, and we only have about 10 minutes left until those imbalances right now. Tesla was the one I'm watching because of how strongly it was selling off. So this could potentially be something coming into the close here at the same time, trading below 435s as of right now. So we'll wait and see if this one potentially comes in. But earnings are some of the best plays probably on the week. So that's what I'm waiting for as well. Got to save and protect some of that risk and be as disciplined as possible this week. I think that's going to be a big one. What are some of the earnings that you're excited for?
Obviously the big three coming in on Wednesday. And then I think there's who's also reporting with them? Let's pull it up here. There's another low-key name. I mean, I love earnings season, but I like once we get out of the mega caps and then we start heading into kind of like those mid caps, right? I really like that. We'll go through some of the names here momentarily. And I know Adara is going to be posting her stuff on X, so make sure you guys go out and check that out as well too, as she prints all the reports. But as for this Wednesday, I mean, we got Tesla, and who else was on the Wednesday? So sorry, let's pull this up. You take a leave it. No, yes, except we know Microsoft. You know what? So yeah, it's Microsoft, Tesla, and Meta. I'm going to be looking forward to these. All right, and then Lam Research as well. But then you have the names like ServiceNow, IBM. Levi could be okay. LVS, we don't typically trade that too often. But other than that, MasterCard, Caterpillar has been an absolute monster of a run. I'm surprised no one picked that. No one picked, did anybody pick Meta for their picks as well too? Like I'm surprised
I got like a display right here of all
on that one. Yeah, there you go.
All the names here. So this week is jam-packed. Jam-packed. We got so tonight. I don't see anything too crazy tonight, but I'll keep an eye on these names. But UNH, Boeing, UPS, GM, RTX, American Airlines tomorrow before the open, and then we got Texas Instruments. I don't know if I really traded that one too much.
That thing's been
but STX, we've seen some of the hard drive names running as well. So STX is going to be very interesting at the same time. What else pops out?
AA tomorrow morning. I'll be keeping my eye on.
American
I
Airlines.
think that's going to be one of something that's in play. I like that. Adara Starbucks is on there as well too, coming in on Wednesday morning. ADP, Progressive Insurance there. AT&T, Nokia, I mean, Apple on Thursday after the close. And yeah, I mean, Visa as well, too. So there's a lot, especially leading into next week as well. That's when I really, really like to see some of these names start to report and then trade them after that. So I'm looking forward to earnings season. I always have. I love it when the banks really start get to reporting. Palantir is going to be Monday on February 2nd after the close. So that's not going to be bad at all. PayPal, Pepsi, that's going to be interesting. AMD, SMCI, we got going on Tuesday after the close. Chipotle, Enphase. These are some more of the names. SMCI, not so much, but Advanced Micro Devices. Uber, right? I think Wednesday before the open, Uber's going to be a big one. Novo Nordisk, Eli Lilly, some more Adara favorites there. And then sure enough, let's take a look at some of the other ones. Google, ARM, and Qualcomm on Wednesday, February 4th. So that's going to be next Wednesday after the bell. Or 2 Wednesdays from now? I don't know. Anyway, Snapchat as well, Elf Beauty. So yeah. Keep it on. It's going to be a star-studded lineup. There's a lot of names that are going to be in play, and we're going to get to be able to put on some amazing trades throughout the duration of earnings season. Some of my favorite. I remember when I was just trading on my own at home in between earnings season, trading straight to, it was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. Oh, in between the couple months of that gray zone in between, equity curve slowly, earnings season, and then right back to the top side. So yeah, earnings season definitely some of my favorite time to trade.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of opportunity. We talk about, a big part of consistency is focusing on in-play stocks.
Yep.
And during earnings season, there's a lot of stocks in play, gapping up, gapping down, earnings reports that are missing or hitting, forward guidances that might be good or bad.
Yep.
And you see that relative volume start to come in as well. And yeah, a lot of participation across the board on multiple players that are looking at the stocks on multiple time frames. So yeah, day 1, day 2 earnings, maybe even day 3 earnings, you can definitely develop playbook trades in and around some of those, some of that price action that does revolve around those days. So definitely, I 100% agree with you that earnings season is a great time to kind of exercise your skills and exercise your playbook on some of these names that might potentially come in.
I don't have it up here, Obi. What's the early imbalances looking like over?
Early imbalances, yeah, I can take a quick look.
Yeah, let's see if there's anything outstanding.
Mine usually is like filtered for some stuff here, so we'll see. Okay, so on the NY, nothing too crazy. I got Path, XOM, CCL coming in here with the early look. On Nasdaq, doesn't really update until a little bit later, but so I don't really pay too much attention to these. But Intel with a sell of 300K, nothing too crazy. But yeah, those imbalances are going to show up in about 6 minutes, and then we'll see what's going on. I am watching this Tesla coming into the close. At the same time, CoreWeave I was involved with finally got back below 100, and look at this consolidation, man. 99s to 98s, boom, 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 just stuck in that range as of right now, stepping down after a very strong morning, right? So I think something to continue watching as this news unfolds on the day. And how's that silver chart looking?
Silver, oh yeah, I mean 98.08s. You did make a low. I think was talking about that. We ran into this 96.45, and this downtrend hasn't snapped. I mean, we give up the whole channel and some more, and also breaking through some key pre-market lows. So I think that silver might see a little bit of a downtrend starting to form here, guys. But with strong underlyings, anything can happen. Let's see what tomorrow brings. I like what Obi was saying earlier as well, too, that there's still plenty of time within the week. So you can get a nice rebound, maybe up into north of the hundreds, and then get that continuation. But right now, keep an eye on the volume profile as well, the volume by time, that is. Look at the increase in selling pressure here. And then if you head over to the daily, you can see that it's the largest volume print that, I don't know, when was the last time we've seen a volume print like this, Obi? Wow, we got to go back to 21, not even close. We're going to have to go over to, I don't even know if that's going to make sense to head over to the weekly, because we want to see a little bit of the detail. Whoa. So, I mean, yeah, so this week isn't over. It's the first day of this week, Obi.
Yep.
And we're already close to what we're experiencing. I mean, we've already filled 3/4 of what we had in the past couple of weeks. But just to note on the daily, this is the largest single-day volume print on SLV in a really, really long time. We'll zoom out as much as we can here to see if we can find something. Like I mentioned, you go over to 2021, so you got 5 years essentially right there, and there's nothing even relatively close, right? So this is a big-time volume event that we're experiencing here in silver, and we're pretty earlier in the year as well, too. So only 3 weeks in, essentially. So
yeah, no, definitely. I like that you isolated that volume signature there, and yeah, we haven't seen volume coming in like this in many years. And it's only the first day of the week.
It's the first day of the week.
Man. The week isn't even over, and that was a weekly chart at the same time. So definitely something to watch out for. Is silver done and gone? A lot of buzz about it, and a lot of people that might not even be involved in markets continue to start talking about it.
Yeah.
They start talking about like, oh, silver, this, that, and the other. That's usually kind of an indicator of of some sort of a top, right?
That's what I'm thinking here as well, too.
I mean, we also talk about how potentially safe havens could be another explanation of why gold is also moving alongside with that silver and continues to push up as geopolitical tensions rise and investors are looking for a place to park their money as a safe haven as well. So gold has always been a great safe haven over the course of a few millennia at the very least. But
and I mean, if if we're thinking about something to a safe haven from an equity standpoint, for me, I'm heading over to the staples, right? Like the necessities, things that people need, like the Costco's and the Walmarts. I know it's not necessarily like parking your money in gold, but if we're looking at it from an equity standpoint, first place I'm going, like, dude, if there's any form of, it makes no sense in this correlation, but there's any form of an apocalypse, my first thing is to just try to take over a Walmart. You got everything you need right there.
Yeah.
Costco might be a little bit too large to hold, right? You need more.
You need a membership for that.
Yeah, you need a membership, and you need a lot more participants as well too, obviously.
Yeah.
Being sarcastic. But I have an options question here. John Ishrad. Joseph, I bought some Tesla call options, strike $15, expiring February 2nd. $4.50 for 10 contracts, currently at $3 per contract. Do you think I should cut my losses now, roll earnings this Wednesday? Now, it's a really difficult question, all right? Well, and what I'm gonna start it off with essentially here is that you're buying a derivative of a derivative, right? So you're buying an options contract of something that is derived already from Tesla in itself, and that's going to be the 2x daily. So you got to be really, really, really cautious. If Tesla does take a hit on earnings report, then sure enough, you're going to see a really dramatic effect in your options contract pricing. All right. So let's head over to Tesla, and if we go back, like they were never really great on numbers. If you go to their previous reports. So
Apple.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So out of their 7 previous reports, out of their previous 7 reports, 5 of them, they have a miss either on the top or the bottom line, and 2 of them are double beats, right? So just keep that in mind. All right, MF Dangerous, I remember that you sold. We have the imbalances. Adara brought that to us. What do you got there, Obi? Anything outstanding stepping in? I don't have my imbalance.
Apple's coming in as the highest sell. Look at the pair volume at 5.5 million and then 2.4 million shares to sell here on Apple. I did get a little bit involved here. Ideally, I want to see that imbalance get a little bit bigger here. I don't know why it's not showing here. There we go, right there. You can see that slam right in as that imbalance comes in all the way from 255 halves coming straight into 255. So let's see if that continues to hold here going into the end of the day. 2.4, I mean, we've definitely seen bigger volume, but you can see here on the Nasdaq list, it is the one that is the top of the list. So we'll see if this has a bit of a continuation to the downside. We got all the way up to 256 halves, right? 256 halves coming in, very, very strong on the day, like we said before. And the market's also catching a bit of a curl here. Tesla was watching that. That one didn't really pull up here anywhere close to some of the top names here. I got Amazon, Nvidia with the sell imbalance. So a few Mag 7s here coming in with some strong selling imbalances going into the close. But this is the thing: you got to try to get involved as early as possible. And those algos are definitely hitting the bid at 255.40s, 255.30s as well, and I'm here sitting at 255.04s. So again, sizing accordingly as well, knowing that if this wipes right back up, this could just go right back to 255 half. So giving it some room here, looking for that continuation potentially. We still have about 4 minutes, under 4 minutes for the imbalances to pair off, and I think it's better if it stays or even grows, right? That's always a good sign there, giving us an indication of increased imbalance is always good. Distinctly different is what I'm potentially looking for. But Tesla kind of holding up as of right now as well. Let's see on the NICE, we got a T. I don't know what MO is, but Pfizer's up here as well as Coupang, CPNG coming in at the same time. PG, KView is always up here, so I'm not really too concerned about that.
Why is it always on there?
I have no idea, but maybe that's something I want to look into, because I guess they always, for some reason, have some sort of a strong imbalance there. Let's see if we can crack through 255s with any sort of distinction here, with only about a few minutes left. What do you got going on?
I'm just looking at
ETH is up there too. ETH is a sell.
ETH,
on the Nasdaq. So.
I mean, I'm just looking at Bitcoin here a little bit, guys. I don't really know how I feel about this right now. The tide's gonna change, right? Like, I mean, this is the IBIT IPO. And you just have that multi-month consolidation. You make these massive legs up. One thing to note is that maybe we are starting to form a little bit of a head and shoulders here. Shoulder one, head, shoulder two. And if things break, I know Sharif likes a steady uptrend right now, and rightfully so. I think that's when this is breached, right? Especially the second time coming around is something that it could be slightly alarming. How deep are we going to get pulled back? And when Saylor says he'll never get margin called, so it doesn't matter if Bitcoin goes to zero. He's still going to hold all his position. He acquired a little bit more today, I believe, as well too, or whenever he did. So he's going to be the largest. He is going to be one of the largest holders. That's for sure. He's trying to hoard this thing. Already holds a pretty insane amount of percentage of the actual outstanding amount of Bitcoin. So let's see what we got going on. It is it's been not too good. If you go over to my X account, you can see in October, right when we peaked, I knew something was fishy, and I said, yeah, crypto bear market, bear winter. And I mean, we're there. We're down 30%. It doesn't look like it wants to rebound. Doesn't look like very many people want to participate. For me, it's just these lengthy consolidations, right? It's just like throughout this whole time, you can be in something a little bit more, have less amount of holding, which I drastically reduced. And that's going to lead me to like the Walmarts, right? JPMs. I know I'm just kind of talking my own book right now, but there's a reason why I'm involved with some of these names. I think they're extremely important to the American economy and vice versa. So CrowdStrike, obviously, with this the AI build out, data center build out, you're going to need to protect all of this stuff. The blackout is definitely far behind them. That was in July of 24, I believe. That is behind them, even though I think they still have to pay somewhat of a fine eventually if they haven't already. But CrowdStrike I like a lot. So 502, if we can hold up on this trend line and continue to get that bounce, I think we can see $600 on CrowdStrike. Now let's take a look at Zscaler. What has Zscaler been up to? Not too good of a look either here off of that previous pivot high of around 332, and then now you're down 36%, closer to 40 on Zscaler. PanW, another cybersecurity name right here, PanW, Palo Alto Networks. I mean, I like CrowdStrike the most out of the three of them, down 16%, even though it's not as down as bad as what CrowdStrike may be, considering, right? Like, what was our previous high there? 566, 22%, 17%. So roughly the same, so not too bad. CRM, Salesforce, yeah, poor CRM and Mark Benioff. Again, like I thought this downtrend was going to be the end of things and maybe you can get a little bit of a climb higher. But if you head over to what Obi likes to do in the 3-month time frame, it is steady up and to the right there, Obi, but it's been a long time. So if each candle's 3 months, think about how long your money's been dead for there.
Yeah, for sure. I think you definitely have to, higher time frames, you got to watch, and you also have to understand the time frame for each of those candles, right? And it's just like when we talk about swinging something for, maybe a couple quarters or even a year or so, I definitely do want to step it up on the time frames and see how that potentially comes in. So Apple paired off a decent amount there. It's still a bit of a sell here, 500K, just shy of 500K sell, and then we did bid up here. So this is probably going to be a nothing burger here, coming back up into some of those reference prices from where those sellers came in and stepped into the book on that imbalance. But again, I guess the market was the place to catch the sell here. You can see here both the ES and the Nasdaq coming in even lower. Off of some of those imbalances pairing off. So interesting stuff happening here. I'm looking at, wow, Softy was the one here. Softy is the one that's getting cracked to the downside. So let's take a quick look at MSFT here going into the last few minutes. Wow, look at that, boom. That's right off of, is this a minute chart? No, let's go to the minute chart and see if this started coming in on the 50. Yep, it did. 50 candles, strong sell all the way down into VWAP, 472s down to 470s now on Microsoft, and that was about 480K. So yeah, dollar volume, with respect to dollar volume, that one was definitely much bigger here on MSFT, cracking even lower as we speak. So a bit of a miss on my part. Again, I don't have my imbalance scanners set up the right way on this setup, but participated with some of Apple, but I guess Microsoft was the one. Again, bidding up on the day. We had a pretty strong catalyst as well today, coming out with a chip that could potentially compete. I don't want, maybe rival is a strong word, but compete at the very least with Intel's chips and take some of the dependency on Nvidia away from Microsoft's I guess infrastructure there as well. So
yeah, I agree with you there, Obi. I mean, like when you hold so much of the market already, and you have X amount of market share, obviously being the peak and the apex predator within that space, there's only one way you can really go, right? And we've seen that with Tesla in the EU, and then now you have the Chinese EVs start to step in, and sure enough, it's like, oh yeah, Tesla's losing market share left, right, and center. Thanks, Dave hates 808s. Oh, okay, all right, I like that one. I appreciate that, Dave hates 808s. Yeah, I mean, there's only one way you can go, right? And I expect this from NVDA. And I expect this from its competitors, and people looking to purchase chips are going to try to find cheaper alternatives. And sure enough, this may be one. But when you have so much market share, just like Tesla did in Europe with the EV space, there's only one way you can really go, right? And that's to the downside. Is that going to hinder their earnings? I don't think so, right? They're going to have a lot in the pipeline, obviously. They can gain new customers. What they got in the Gulf state. Stargate, essentially, Stargate here. I know a lot of that deal is done with AMD's chips and everything along those lines. So, interesting stuff. Ooh, okay, it's almost that time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that.
Boom.
Boom, just like that. All right, that's going to conclude. Oh, is it? I'm down.
Okay, all right, so that's gonna conclude the day today here. Hopefully you guys had a solid trading day. Not too many opportunities that I saw relative to my playbook, but again, that could be very, very subjective. So hopefully you guys had a solid day. Hopefully I came in with the goal to make good decisions, and I think I made a relatively okay decisions. They could definitely always be improved and be a little bit better here, Joe. But yeah, we'll Joe and Sharif will be back with you guys tomorrow on the midday, and Neil and Sean will be back here at the desk for you guys tomorrow. So thank you, everybody. Hope to see you soon. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.
Ciao, bellos.
Nice.
Oh, my knee. Oh, my leg.